Welcome to Tuesday Talks at 3. This is Lucy Macridis, and I am voiced by Lucy, serving up your weekly dose of personal growth, self-awareness, and unstoppable inspiration. Whether you're here to level up or rediscover your purpose, you are in the right place. Now don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so that you never miss a moment of transformation. Let's dive in.
By definition, a leader inspires confidence in other people and moves them into action. Hi, this is Lucy, your clarity coach, and this is Tuesday Talks at 3. Welcome to the Resilience and Leadership series, where we dive into building emotional resilience and self-leadership in both your private and professional life. And we have 4 episodes. This episode is episode number 1, and it's all about leader awareness, and that speaks for itself. The second one, episode 2, is about leader empathy. Did you know that there are 3 types of empathy? Well, you want to catch me on the second episode for me to be able to explain to you these 3 empathy types of a leader. The third one is leader overwhelm. Oh, if you are a leader, this you know what it means. Definitely you can relate to leader overwhelm, leader anxiety. We'll be covering that in episode 3. And last but not least, we'll be talking about leading teams. How then can we apply all the first episodes to leading teams successfully so that we can meet the end goal, the vision, the mission of wherever it is that we're working, whether in our private or in our professional lives? Well, today, when it comes to us looking at leader awareness, I would like us to cover 2 specific areas. And one of them is understanding your emotional triggers, while the other one is practicing mindful leadership. Well, emotional triggers, what are those? Emotional triggers are anything that brings about this emotional intensity, emotional reaction, so to speak. It could be an event, it could be a deja vu moment, it could be a memory. Whatever it is that you're doing, I'm sure you've experienced this, something that just triggers you to go, literally to go south. Something happens and you're reminded of something so deeply and it moves you in that moment. So as a leader, it's important for you to recognize your emotional triggers, because once you do this, one of either happens. You either react or you respond. Now, the one that we want you to do is to respond, because responding suggests that you are aware of who you are. You understand that when this thing happens, this is how I am bound to react. React, yeah? Because reacting is like a knee-jerk reaction. This is how I have this natural reaction. We want to pivot the reaction into a response. So just for the sake of the context, I will give you an example, my personal example on laziness. So what is my trigger? My trigger is if I'm at home or at a place of work or where there's a project and I see an individual seated doing nothing. You see, nothing is very, it depends what nothing means. And it's very relative is the word I was looking for. Nothing, this person could actually be being very productive, if you get what I mean. But we talk about my trigger. So when I see that, I get triggered. I still do to this day. But because I have learned how to respond, it doesn't paralyze me from carrying on with what brought me there. So right back to the trigger itself. When I see somebody doing nothing, I am triggered by a childhood memory where my mother, specifically my mother, not my father, but my mother, did not accept that anybody would hang around doing nothing. So we woke up early. We had chores to do. We had tasks to carry out. We had things like homework to be doing. You cannot be seen doing nothing unless you are now playing. So you are actively engaged in something. And she kept on saying whenever she found us sitting doing nothing, and it's very relative as I say, she would call us lazy. So I got called lazy a lot of times. Now this became my go-to, that any time that I saw somebody seated and doing nothing, I equated that to laziness. Well, we all know that in today's world, we actually sit and we work on our phones and we get things done. But then enter that aspect of a build-up in my mind, which is a memory and a trigger. That's the first place I go to, that you are lazy, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. So as a leader, I realized that this was my trigger. And I started to work with it. I started to shift this narrative. Today, I respond because I am aware of how it is that I show up when these triggers happen. So is this you? Are you that kind of person who already has a trigger and you just go off the edge? I'm encouraging you and I invite you today to choose to respond because you are a leader. A leader inspires confidence in others and moves them into action. So the tantrums are not going to help somebody move into action that is sustainable or move, I beg your pardon, sustainably into action. They will do it today out of fear and tomorrow you won't catch them doing this move, which is good for everybody. So it starts from the top. As a leader, I encourage you to learn how to respond, therefore knowing who you are, leader awareness. So recognizing that tight deadlines perhaps stress you, then you want to be able to plan ahead in future and see what planning ahead means for you or for your team, where there are different people building up to one specific goal. It can be very frustrating for you as a leader because you're the one who takes the end product and you deliver it, whether it's a strategic plan, a business plan. So of course you can get very stressed and this would be an emotional trigger. Well, if you join our We Are Connected community, or if you're already there, it's a Facebook community, you will find that we have an emotional trigger sheet or tracker or form or template as it may there. I want you to go there and complete that emotional trigger tracker so that you can identify your top 3 triggers just this week. Once again, that is the We Are Connected community group on Facebook. And if you are not a member yet, all you have to do is drop me a DM right here and I will show you or give you directions as to how you can join us. Well, that was all about understanding your emotional triggers. Now we're looking at practicing mindful leadership. And you may ask me, how does mindfulness improve your leadership? Imagine you as a leader. You are standing at the top, a lighthouse, or you're standing at a vantage point and you're looking out and looking down. You see the entire picture. However, the people in the different departments who are putting together the parts for the entire picture to take form do not see this aerial view. So you have that luxury of seeing the whole picture, but not everybody does. So when you are mindful of how everybody sees their picture, you are able to bring yourself to a point where you stay present. You're able to stay present when you move into this department. You're present in the things that they are doing. And you are able to stay focused with them and help them along up to the part where it leaves their department. And then you're empathetic. You're empathetic to what they're going through. This is what mindful leadership is all about, because you've got the aerial view, but you're coming to a point to the level of each department, which is different, and you are applying the presence, the focusedness, and the empathy. So for instance, you could begin a meeting with just a moment to quieten down all this anxiety. So for instance, for the context, you are a leader that everybody looks up to, where it is that you work or what project you're doing or whatever it is that you're leading. So you've got the people who follow you that you are influencing and you're making them move towards change. You have them walking into this room. I can tell you for free because we've all been there as leaders. We started down here. They are nervous as they come out to share. They are nervous about how you're going to receive them. They want you to like them. They want you to accept what they're bringing in. They want you to see them. and they are so well prepared, but the minute they come through that door and they see you seated right there, maybe at the top of the table, it all disappears. And even if they've written it down, the heart goes out of it because now they come across as very confused. So you as a leader in mindful leadership kind of context, you can begin your meetings with 2 minutes of breathing. So if everybody walks in, you know you have everybody in the room. And now we do a breathing exercise. And when you do this breathing exercise, you're able to set a calm tone. Anybody who was anxious is able to just calm down their heart rate and bring themselves to this moment. However, perhaps as a leader, you're still feeling challenged. You still feel like you need more assistance. Well, I'm here for you. Just join our 12-week leadership program for leaders. If you drop leader right here in the chat, I will be able to share the costs and the course line. Again, join our 12-week leadership program for leaders. All you have to do is drop leader here in the comments, below in the comments, and I will share the costs and the course outline. This way you are able to understand who you are and how you show up as a leader, and I will help you on that journey. Well, our next episode is on leaders' empathy. As we move away from awareness and we move into empathy, it is a superpower that every leader needs to have. It's worth having as a leader. So how can leaders then balance empathy with accountability? Because accountability is a big thing in leadership. We'll see you in the next episode. Let us help build each other. Until then, be kind to yourself.
Thank you for tuning into this week's Tuesday Talks at 3 on Voiced by Lucy. If today's message resonated with you, give this video a like, drop a comment to share your thoughts, and share it with someone who needs a little inspiration today. And oh yes, hit the subscribe button while you're at it. Remember, growth starts with one step. You've got this.